on the line. Woody from Corrosion of Conformity. Woody, thanks for taking the time to take my call.
Man, my pleasure. My pleasure. It's just I'm so excited to be coming back y'all's way. I don't even know what to say, man. I'm speechless.
It'll be good to have you here. Now, you guys have been around a while, on and off, since about 82.
Oh, what are you talking about? Just a couple of years, man. Not too long.
Hey, I'll get to that question in a minute, but I tell you what, I was in the USA in 1986, and I was at the Santa Monica Civic 2 nights in a row. I saw Venom one night and Saxon the next night, and it seemed like every second person in the crowd had a COC T-shirt on.
The good old Santa Monica Civic.
Yeah, that was 1986, man. Right.
Yeah, man.
From way back in the day, what's your main memories of those early days?
Well, talking about those big shows back in LA. Then I mean, they would have giant and they were like, credit to like Golden Voice and some of those promoters out there. They would have these big shows like at Santa Monica Civic and other places where they would mix. They would have metal bands playing with what was at the time considered, hardcore punk bands, and so they would have bands like COC at the time. We'd be out there with the Animosity record, and they'd have us on a bill with Anthrax, so at the time we were kind of like a punk rock band or whatever, and through the years we became more accepted, and we were, whatever we are now, I don't know. I kind of run out of adjectives for it, but yeah, I mean that was a time and a place, especially in LA, man. That was wild.
There was a bit of a crossover thing happening back then, wasn't there?
There was, man. I mean, and that's what I was getting at. There was a time just prior to that where, man, if you were a metalhead, you didn't want to see anybody, you didn't want to hear about a punk rocker with a mohawk, and vice versa. You're a punk rocker, you were into punk rock, you didn't give a damn about metal. But that didn't live long. I mean, that was short-lived. It's like, you had bands like Venom, and then of course Metallica and Slayer. Bridging the gap right there. Like the lines became blurred. The next thing you know, it was like, oh shit, it's heavy music. Let's go enjoy some damn heavy rock and roll. It doesn't matter if it's punk rock or heavy metal or whatever, man. Let's just go have fun.
It's all about the attitude, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody be friendly, but damn, have a good time.
I heard a saying once, there's no strangers at a metal show, just friends you haven't met yet.
That's a good point. Yeah, it is true. Well, there is something about the hard rock scene. The heavy metal fans are some of the most accepting. If you're friendly, and they're going to be friendly right back. It's crazy. Because everybody looks hard, and everybody's walking around in a black shirt with spikes coming out of their damn ears and their lips or whatever. But everybody's on the same point. It's friendly people. It's nice people. If you're there to enjoy the music, enjoy it. Have a good time.
Right. Now, you mentioned the Animosity album a little while ago. How did those albums go for you there in the mid-'80s? Eye for an Eye, Animosity. How did they go for you?
Well, Eye for an Eye was our very first record, and it was actually recorded like in mid-1983. It came out January '84, but we were kids. We were literally little kids, well, mid teenagers or whatever. Never seen a studio. Didn't know anything. We knew that we liked Judas Priest and the Bad Brains and Black Sabbath and Black Flag. That was the only thing we knew, And we made a record, and we actually went on tour in 1984. And we played a show with Slayer in Baltimore. They were on the Haunting the Chapel tour, and we were on, whatever, the Eye for an Eye tour or whatever. It wasn't a tour, but yeah, they were like, hey, we're going to get you guys a deal. Our dude over here, Brian Slagle at Metal Blade, we'll get you hooked up. We were like, yeah. And, we were like, nah, they're not really going to do it. Next thing you know, we get a call, Tom Araya turns old Slagle on to Corrosion. And next thing you know, we put out that record on, put out the Animosity over there at Metal Blade. And, the story's done after that. We kept on going, didn't stop.
God bless Slayer, hey?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It all goes back to Slayer, right?
Now, the hiatus, you might say, in 2006 to 2010, what happened there? Did you need a break?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you know, we've sort of broached that subject before. I think that's one of the reasons we're still able to be a band. Is it is good to take a break every once in a while, and you know, that was sort of a forced break. You know, in some respects, there's a, you know, Pepper lives down in New Orleans. There's a little thing called Hurricane Katrina that came through and just really messed up a lot of people down there, ruined a lot of people's lives. Really, I mean, you know, really hurt people bad. But you know, we were out at the time with Motorhead, and we had just got done with a North American tour. Hurricane happened, and it really just threw us for a loop. And it took Keenan a few years to kind of, you know, get things back rolling. You know, and he was. They were spending a little time on Down, which is, you know, people may be familiar with them. It's, you know, Phil from Pantera and, you know, Kurt from Crowbar and some other guys. But it just took us a few years before COC was like, hey, you know, let's get back around to it. You know, we spent a little time doing the 3-piece stuff, Reed Mullen, Mike Dean, and myself, and had a blast doing that. And when the time was right, we were like, hey, let's do some more 4-piece stuff. What the hell?
Now, with a band that, you know, had started like in the early 80s, taking a break, getting back together, with the way the industry is these days, how different would it be, do you think, for a band starting out now? Do you reckon you guys could do it, or is it just too different, or is it not that different?
Maybe with the same drive, you know, as a young man would have, I think we would probably stand a fair chance, you know, being the man of 50 plus years old as I am today, it might be a challenge, you know. Obviously we don't rest on any laurels, but still, yeah, I think we would stand a chance, you know. I do understand that in this day and age, there's more challenges, you know, and there's more opportunities. So maybe it equals itself out, you know. People, you know, you've got the internet now, you got the YouTubes, you got your Facebook channels and all that stuff. So maybe it kind of evens out because none of that existed, you know, way back when. You went and played shows and that was it. That was your only way to get your word out. It truly was. You know, other than like tape trading. Anybody remember that? Yeah, that was it. That was the internet, tape trading.
Speaking about going out and playing shows, early February, coming down to Australia again. How did this tour come about?
Oh my Lord, we have been begging for it. We truly have, and we've been asking for Australia forever. And it was just a matter of finding the right folks that wanted to bring us down, wanted to take a chance, I guess, because it had been so long. People didn't know how it would be received, maybe. I'm not really sure, but we found some folks, and they're bringing us down, and it looks like it's going to be a successful trip. So hopefully it leads to more trips coming down, because we've waited way too long, man, and it's been bothering us.
Now, I've looked at your schedule. It was obviously put together by someone who doesn't have a map.
Tours are always put together by someone without a map.
Because you're in Auckland in New Zealand on the 4th, then Adelaide, here in Adelaide on the 5th, and then all the way over to Perth, and then back to Melbourne, up to Brisbane. Then you get a few days off, thank God, and then you're down in Sydney. So you...
They have pubs over there, right? I mean, we can drown our sorrows at the pub, hopefully. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no shortage of them here in Australia. Trust me on that. So you'll be fine. But you will need a good rest afterwards.
Yeah, it's going to be a little brutal. But, you know, we're coming down. We're flying into Auckland like 3 days early, you know, 2 or 3 days early. And so we're going to hopefully absorb a little of the local culture like we like to do, and do a bit of relaxing before the sprint to the finish. And then, like you said, there's a few days there at the end, right before Sydney. So hopefully we'll get a chance to hang out with some folks and see some things, and, you know, tell the people that we appreciate them, and so forth and so on. That's the point of coming, you know, just having a good time and visiting with the folks down there.
It'd be great to have you down here. What have you got planned for the gigs? We're going to mix it up a bit. New stuff, old stuff. How are we going?
Oh my Lord, yeah, we're gonna mix it up. Anytime you have a new one, you got to throw, you know, you got to throw a couple of them in there, but we're not going to overdo it on the new stuff. People want to hear things going way back. You know, they want to hear some classic stuff, you know, Volume Dealer, you know, Arms of God, you know, Deliverance, Wise Blood, of course. We'll be playing a bunch of that stuff. So we're going to mix it up good. We're going to make sure they hear a little bit from everything. And, you know, hopefully not shortchange anyone, you know. It'd be a little something for all the fans from all the eras and all the stuff, you know. So, and, you know, Keenan will occasionally raise his hand and, you know, say, hey, who wants to hear what? You know, he'll take requests. So we'll see. We got to keep us on our toes, right? We'll see what happens. I mean, he may do that. I don't know. So if anybody has any ideas, throw them our way, yeah.
That'll keep you on your toes, all right. Hey, Woody from Corrosion of Conformity, absolutely magnificent talking to you. Coming down here early February for a magnificent whirlwind tour, and we'll see you here in Adelaide on the 5th of February. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Thank you, guys, and we appreciate it, and we'll see y'all down there.